Today's lecture is about heartburn. So we're gonna solve an exercise about heartburn to understand more details about this problem. Heartburn is not a problem occurring in the heart. It's a problem occurring in the stomach. So we have the problem in the stomach and not in the heart. Let's start reading this exercise. Heartburn or acid reflux. So we can call it also acid reflux. Occurs when the stomach acid goes up into the esophagus because a malfunction of the lower esophageal sphincter. So here, as you see, we have here a sphincter which closes and open. It opens when it opens to allow the food to pass from the esophagus into the stomach, and it closes to prevent the movement of the acid from the stomach into the esophagus, because the acidity of the gastric juice is harmful for the esophagus. It can destroy the cells of the esophagus. So because of that, the sphincter is very important to prevent the goes up of to prevent to prevent the movement of the acid here, okay, to the esophagus, because the acidity destroy the esophagus. So here the heartburn takes place when the acid of the gastric juice uh, moved into the esophagus because of the problem, uh, taking place in the esophageal sphincter, which is present here. So this is a normal person. Look at the sphincter. It works normally, so it can close and prevent any passage of the acidity of the acid from the stomach into the esophagus. And here we have normal esophagus, but here for a person having acid reflux, we have a sphincter which has a problem here. So in this case, the acid can pass from the stomach into the esophagus and leading to many problems in the esophagus. Let's continue reading this paragraph. One second. And leading to damage in the lining of the esophagus, as I said. Many causes led to heartburn, such as smoking, being obese, stress, alcohol, and certain types of food. So here we have many causes that lead to heartburn. Yani these are causes of the causes of heartburn. So we have many causes, such as smoking. So smoking can lead to heartburn. Being obese, يعني eating too much, especially lipids and sugars, stress, alcohol, and certain types of food, but they are not present here. What are the types of food that lead to heartburn? So taking antacids which help to neutralize or which help neutralize stomach acidity may provide a treatment of heartburn. So the treatment here to this problem is taking antacid. So antacid it's like يعني مثل هدول الحبوب ياخدون هيك. اوكي شو بيعملوا this antacids are important because they neutralize the acidity of the gastric juice. يعني إذا طلع لفوق, if the acid goes up into the esophagus, so we can reduce the acidity. بتعرفوا from grade 8 you have studied in grade 8 إنه acid with base will give something neutral. So the anti-acid is بيكون هو basic substance, and here the gastric juice is acidic, and in this case the result is neutral. So in this case we can decrease or reduce the acidity, بنخفف acidity by taking anti-acid. Pick out from the text the consequence of heartburn. So the consequence هي a damage in the lining of the esophagus. You have to focus on this term consequence. شو هي consequence of heartburn لشو بأدي يعني to damage in the lining of the esophagus تنقلوها من فوق. Some causes of heartburn كمان, as we said, smoking, being obese, stress, alcohol, and certain types of food. All these factors can lead to heartburn. A treatment of heartburn and its function. A treatment هو taking anti-acid و its function هو which help to neutralize the stomach acidity, uh, which helps neutralize stomach acidity. Okay, let's continue. Then to study the effect of antacids on the chemical digestion in stomach, we measure the quantity of proteins in stomach with and without taking antacid after the ingestion of 100 AU of proteins for a person for a person having acid reflux as shown in the table below. So here we want to study the effect of the antacids, but بدي أعرف what is the effect of the antacids on the chemical digestion in stomach. So here because we have this problem بدي أعرف أنا if the person taking antacid عنده problem بالdigestion here or the antacid doesn't affect يعني هل هيدا بيتأثر الدايجشن هير in the stomach ولا ما بيتأثر بعد ما أخذ هيدي الدواء الميديسن اللي هي الحبة اللي بتمنع الهارت بيرن حتى ما يصير عنده وجع يعني. Draw the graph. هيدا الدروينج سهل. Pose the problem solved in this question. You have to read very well the introduction. The problem here solved in this question. What is the effect of antacids on the chemical digestion in stomach? So here this is the objective of this exercise and this is the problem. So here we can determine the problem. What is the effect of antacids on the chemical digestion in stomach? So here we want to solve this problem. We want to solve this question. هل عندها تأثير الانتي on the chemical digestion in stomach؟ هل في تأثير على عملية الهضم or it doesn't affect at all digestion here in stomach? Because of that we ingest أو a person عملنا ingestion ل 100 AU of proteins. عطينا شخص 100 AU of proteins. أكيد عنده having acid reflux، عنده مشكلة here. He has a problem in the sphincter of the esophagus. فإذا we measure without taking anti-acid أكيد حيكون عنده وجع هذا الشخص لأنه حيطلع الأسيد from the stomach into the esophagus. the quantity of proteins without هون without هيدي with لكن we have a mistake here without. okay, and this one is with. okay. Here we have the quantity of proteins without taking anti-acid. قديش الكوانتيتي؟ فإذا عملوا ingestion لشخص مرة مع دواء ومرة بلا دواء. The quantity of proteins decreases from 100 to 0 because we don't have anti-acid, decreases to 0. And when the person takes anti-acid, the quantity decreases but slowly. As you see, after 90 minutes, the quantity is 20, which is more than the quantity of proteins without taking anti-acid with zero. يعني when we take the medicine تأحمي حالة من الأسيديتي عمليه إنه we have a problem in digestion. So the anti-acid okay لما أخذنا الأنتي أسيد the chemical digestion is slowed down. يعني عندي بطيئة مش لما مثل ما باخد لأنه ليكو from 175 30 0 قلت عادي fast. بينما in after taking the antacid, the quantity decreases كيف slowly لأنه بعد بدها it needs more time to finish the 100 AU. So here you have to focus on the variable factor. The variable factor here is taking antacids. هلا هو نفس الشخص he has a problem. يعني هون إذا ما أخذ الأنتي أسيد، ما أخذ الدواء الميديسين، هتلاقوا إنه عنده وجع بالأسوفيجس after eating، بس الدايجيشن حتكون مأخرة. Um, so the problem justify based on the analysis of the obtained results whether your posed problem is solved or no. We have to start by the analysis after 90 minutes of the ingestion of 100 AU of proteins. The quantity of proteins decreases in both cases with and without taking antacids, but decrease fast in the absence of antacids to become 0 AU without taking antacid, while it decreased slowly to become 20 AU after taking antacid. Thus, we can say, the problem here is solved. Yes, we have solved this question. The question is solved. يعني what is the effect of antacids on the chemical digestion in stomach؟ إنه هي انحلت وشفنا تأثيره، إنه the antacid slows down the chemical digestion in stomach. يعني خففت عملية الهضم. يعني هي عندها advantages انه بتمنع الاسيديتي يطلع لفوق، بس at the same time بتخفف عملية الهضم. يمكن هون كمان ما تصير 20، يمكن تصير 40 حسب قديش الاسيديتي. يعني كمان عرفتوا كيف انه ممكن تكون عم بتقل للفوق ما بعرف قد ايه، يعني قديش هو الرقم بتشوفه قد ايه هو. uh, Question 5. Explain the difference in the quantity of proteins left after 20 minutes. Why we have this difference؟ هلا you know إنه the anti-acid إنه it neutralizes the acidity of the gastric juice. So the gastric juice is not now very acidic, and in this case you know that enzymatic activity is affected by the chemical medium. So the chemical medium affects the activity of the enzyme, and here we have pepsin as an enzyme. So pepsin needs pH 2. When the pH is not 2, so in this case we have a problem in the digestion. So in this case كمان يمكن ما يكون عنا 45، هون ممكن يكون عنا 65. اوكي، وممكن يكون عنا هون 40. we can change here the analysis حتى تعملها more accurate. يعني decreases to 40 slowly to 40. اوكي، بدنا نعمل big difference because the chemical medium is not suitable. يعني بصير عنا الانتي اسيد affect the chemical medium. الانتي اسيد أثر على الchemical medium, changes the chemical medium in the stomach by neutralizing the pH, and when the pH becomes neutral the enzymatic activity of pepsin is reduced. خفت الاكتيفيتي للبيبسين here، وبس خفت الاكتيفيتي للبيبسين اكيد حيكون we will have less digestion by pepsin and therefore more quantity of proteins لانه ما عم نعمل digestion للبروتينز هون completely. فاذا الديفرنس هو هون انه ما اخذ الانتي اسيد، فالكيميكال ميديوم بالستومك حيبقى 2 more suitable for pepsin, more digestion, more transformation of proteins into peptide under the action of pepsin, while after taking the antacids, so in this case the chemical medium is affected. uh, Chemical medium is affected, so the pepsin cannot work properly. So in this case we have more quantity of proteins left. We don't have a complete digestion of proteins, and we need more time to finish digestion of proteins. Finally, indicate two other enzymatic properties of not studied here in this exercise. You know that we have three enzymatic properties. Enzymes need suitable chemical medium, specific substrate, and suitable temperature. Here in this exercise we are studying that enzymes need a suitable chemical medium. Okay, so what are The enzymatic property is not studied here in this exercise. Enzymes act at suitable temperature. Here the temperature is the same, so we are not studying this enzymatic property, and also we are not studying the specificity of substrate because we are not changing the substrate. The substrate is the same protein, so the temperature is the same, and the specific substrate is the same. So here the variable factor is the chemical medium, and in this exercise we are studying the effect of the chemical medium on the enzymatic property. And as we see, activity of the enzyme is affected by the chemical medium, and we have to focus on the chemical medium to have a complete digestion, to have a benefit digestion. This was the exercise about the heartburn. I hope you enjoy this lecture.